How's it going, internet? This is the Gadsy guy. So who am I? I'm just some guy living in the Midwest, and I've always watched YouTube for like a long time. I've watched Let's Plays for a very long time, since like middle school, probably. And I've always wanted to do one myself. I always had so many ideas, but I was always hindered by one thing or another, whether it's like bad internet or bad computers or the inability to record anything decent. I've tried a few times, but it never worked out. But growing up, I used to watch people like Deceased Crab. Deceased Crab was one of the first people that I watched on YouTube, and then I would grow up and I'd watch people like Nerd Cubed, and I'd watch people eventually like Total Biscuit and like Game Grumps, and it was always something that I wanted to do, and it's always something that I really thought I could do, but just never could get it to formulate. Now that I'm kind of older now, I figure now is just a good time, because if I don't do it now, I'm probably never gonna do it ever. And I look at some of these people like AlphaRad. AlphaRad's been doing this since he's been 18, so he's younger than me, and he's already 10 years experienced. Like, fuck, I should just do it now. So that's what I'm doing. So who am I exactly? I'm a big time Digimon fan. You'll probably see Digimon stuff on here at some point. I don't have any lined up at the moment, but at some point, Digimon. And in general, I really like turn-based RPGs, so you're probably gonna see a lot of those too. I like my shooters as well, so you might see stuff like Doom and Serious Sam if I can get around to them. But otherwise, I'm just a big fan of video games as a whole. I like all kinds of different games. There's a few genres that I don't love. Like, you'll probably not see me do too many, if at all, MMOs. But generally speaking, I like all kinds of different games, with RPGs, shooters, platformers, racing games. You might see all of these on the channel at some point if I can muster the dedication for it. So that's a good segue to talking about the channel itself. Like I said, you might see a lot of RPGs and very different kinds of games. In fact, I have videos of Pokemon Stadium that are in the works right now. I have videos of like VVV that are in the works right now. I downloaded Flashpoint Archive so I can play a bunch of Flash games that I had just thought of that would be a lot of fun. So you might see that pretty soon. I have all kinds of stuff that I've just collected over the years. So you might expect to see a lot of that. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I decided to make a YouTube channel, was because I was looking at a lot of my backlog, all these games that I've collected over the years and have easy access to and all that. So many games. And I've not played most of them. Or there's some that I've played but never beaten. Or, just all kinds of stuff. And I wanted to make this channel as an excuse to go play those games. So like Braid is on the list of games that I will eventually get to, hopefully, because I've had Braid for so long on both Steam and Xbox 360, and I just never played it. There's hundreds of games on all my systems that I've just never touched. So we're going to do those. Not all of them. Some of them aren't very good. I'm not gonna play them. Some of them are like random stuff that I've collected over the years. I'm probably not gonna play those either. But there's a lot of stuff in here that I would love to play and just never found the motivation to do it. And I think the YouTube channel here is a good excuse to do that. And I'm kind of happy that I'm finally at this point where I can actually go make it, because I've been trying for a while. I mean, obviously I've been trying to make a YouTube channel since like middle school, but I just, various problems. I've talked about that before. But the big problem recently is that every step of the way that I've been trying to do stuff, there's a problem. For example, I tried to do a Let's Play in Diablo because I was watching Darksaber play Diablo. He's cool, watch him. plugging Darksaber 2K, but I was watching him play Diablo, and I'm like, man, I want to play Diablo. But this is a good excuse to record me playing Diablo for the YouTube channel that I want to eventually make. So I did, and I played a bunch of it. Not like a ton. Enough. I played enough, and then my save file died. And I'm like, well, I don't want to play like 2 chapters of Diablo and then just give up. So I scrapped that video. And then, you know, other problems were like sometimes I'd have it where a video wouldn't record, right? Like I would accidentally hit the record button twice, so it would just unrecord. I had a video of A Link to the Past where the first video was fine. I did all of the overworld stuff, and I went up to level 1 and I did all that. That was awesome. And in video 2, I would do levels 2 and 3. And I did levels 2 and 3. And then discovered that I hadn't recorded any of it, which was frustrating. And the whole thing is like, I could just do level 1, or I could just redo everything, but I didn't feel like it, so I scrapped that video idea. I had one where I was playing Pokemon Stadium, and I was recording it, and because of settings-wise, it didn't record in full screen. It recorded to a tiny little corner, so I ended up scrapping that video. I had one where I was playing Dive Kick. There's a different dive kick than the dive kick that should be going up, if I remember to do that. But I was playing Dive Kick, and like halfway through the video, my microphone just cuts off for like 2 hours of gameplay. And I didn't complete the challenge I was doing anyway, so I'm like, okay, whatever, and I scrapped that video. So, you know, it's been a roller coaster. And then finally, I like got it set up in a way that I could actively record properly, and then I had new problems. Like, for example, I got Vegas Pro 19 for really cheap on Humble Bundle. Really cool. But my computer can't run it very well. Doing the preview thing, the preview window is completely just unwatchable. And trying to edit anything with that kind of severe lag in the preview window was taking so long that I had to switch it up. I eventually downloaded DaVinci Resolve, which I think is actually a pretty good program, so that's what I've been using now. Oh yeah, and then I forgot, before that problem happened, I was using Microsoft Clipchamp to try and edit things, and I actually really liked Clipchamp. I didn't dislike Clipchamp. I think Clipchamp is something I would use, not necessarily for editing a whole YouTube video, but maybe just like a part of a live stream, like if I wanted to make a clip. You know, not bad. But the problem was, I would do a whole bunch of editing, and then I would quit and save or whatever, and I'd come back to it, and it just wouldn't load correctly. It was too big. And Clipchamp was just like, yeah, no, now we're freezing. Can't deal with it. So that was the other problem I had in editing, which wasn't any fun. And that was the reason why I went and bought Vegas Pro, which then is the reason why I got DaVinci Resolve. But then, the other major problem I had was I was recording videos in OBS in NKV files, and I'm like, well, that's fine, because, you know, Clipchamp can use NKV files. I'm assuming all the rest of them can too. They can't. They don't. It took me so long to figure out that the reason why I couldn't edit shit in Vegas was because it was an MKV file. So what I had to do is I had to take the thing and basically put it in Clipchamp and then export it as an MP4, so then I could take it and use it with Vegas. And then I had the whole problem with Vegas after that, and it has been an endless nightmare. But I'm finally at the point where I am confident that I can go forward with most things. I did do a video on Petite Cup Stadium that didn't record my mic. I don't know why that's the case. And everything else records fine, so I don't know. Who knows? But generally speaking, I feel like I'm doing pretty well right now that I can actively move forward with the channel. So what's the future of the channel? Well, hopefully hopefully I get really popular. That would be really cool. You know, I could be the next Game Grumps. But there's only one of me. But I feel like there's a few things that I really need to get there. Specifically, I've been working on my branding. You might notice I have a logo, and thumbnails hopefully are done correctly by the time this video comes up. But that's my branding, and I want to take that and that's my thing. But I need more. Specifically, I'm trying to get a mascot right now. You know, the Gazzy guy. But that's one of the things that I need. Secondly, I need better equipment. My computer is kind of trash for many different reasons, but it likes to crash a lot of the time. It's not very good, so I can't play games I can't play stuff like Euro Truck Sim anywhere close to good fidelity or other games, and newer games are out of the question. Like, I have a copy of Spider-Man, the PS4 one, on Steam, but I can't play it because my computer is so bad. And then other things I want to get is, for example, a better mic. The one that I have now is a Blue Snowball, which is fine, but I've noticed in videos it's a bit, not the best. And that's what I'm talking into right now, is my Blue Snowball. You might actually notice in my earliest videos that I'll be putting out, the microphone will sound different than it sounds here, and that's because I was using my headset. And then I bought the Blue Snowball for really cheap on Goodwill, actually. Awesome. But I would love to evolve past that, too, and get a decent one that all the streamers have, so it's clear. Another thing I would love to have is a second monitor, because of how many problems that I've had getting to this point. Having a second screen to babysit my recording would be super cool. And theoretically, that should make it so that I don't lose as many videos to technical problems. So there's a lot of stuff like that I would love to get to. I would love, and once I get my branding down, I would love to get a VTuber model, or at least a PNG tuber model, something like that, so I can emote in the corner of videos while things happen. Because I noticed editing a lot of times that I will be quiet while something is happening, not because I'm not reacting, but because I'm not audibly reacting to something. So it's just something cool happens and it's quiet for a while, and I go, dang, or damn, or whoa. And just having something in the corner to I don't know, fill the space emotion-wise would be I think that'd be a good idea. Plus, synergizes with branding, so it's a good idea too. So video-wise, I have so many plans. Obviously, I'm limited in what I can do right now because of the state of my computer, but I do have a capture card. So the capture card lets me film things like Pokemon Stadium, which is a video that will be coming out soonish. I could do Suika Game. I was planning on playing Suika Game. I was actually planning on playing Suika Game for this video, but I'm having trouble with my HDMI splitter, so I'm gonna find something else for that. I could play my Xbox. I have an Xbox. At some point, if I get an upscaler, I have a PS2 and a Dreamcast and an original Xbox and all kinds of shit like that I could play for the channel. I don't want to play it as it is because they don't look very good, but at some point, I would love to play Budokai 3 or Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast, because I've had it forever and never played it, or D&D Heroes, which is a childhood favorite of mine, and nobody knows what the fuck that game is, because D&D wise, everyone goes to Dark Alliance on the Xbox, but nobody knows D&D Heroes, so I'd love to play that. And then otherwise, I love playing RPGs, so I would love to just find some RPGs that I've never played, maybe Phantasy Star, maybe, a lot of the Final Fantasies that I've just never touched, Dragon Quest I've never played, and just play those. You're probably going to see a lot of Pokemon stuff, because I do like Pokemon. Obviously, I have Stadium coming up, but I would also love to play Pokemon Red all the way through, just for fun, and then take the Mewtwo from Pokemon Red and try to beat Pokemon Stadium with the Mewtwo. Something like that, because you can't get Mewtwo otherwise. I think that would be a fun idea. I've been messing around with randomizers a lot. I would like to play the games that I would randomize first in vanilla. So, like, I would love to do A Link to the Past randomizer, but I want to play through A Link to the Past vanilla first. One, because I haven't done that in so long. I haven't played vanilla A Link to the Past in, like, forever. So, but also just to, like, I feel like having the option, some people will come to a game and be like, well, I don't really like this game randomized. And if I can point them to a vanilla playthrough, I feel like they'll stay more often, you know? I don't know. I think it's just a good idea. And specifically, I've been looking at Archipelago. I've been practicing setting up things for Archipelago. I would love to do a big ass, like 5+ game randomizer in Archipelago. That is on my plan of things to do. But, I don't know if we'll get there. I have to be motivated enough first. The other major thing I would love to do is, I've always been a big time Xbox fan. I love getting achievements, but compared to some of the other people out there, I don't have like a ton. I think my achievement score right now sits around 77 to 78,000, which is decent, but also could be bigger, right? Here's an excuse to get my gamer score up to 100,000. I think that would be fun because it would let me like very specifically focus on Xbox and specifically do like challenges for achievements, you know, like maybe 7-Day Survivor from Dead Rising, or like, you know, other things like that. But also complete whole games like Control, which I've never played but have access to, or Modern Warfare 3, which I've never played but have access to, or, you know, just like play random games. Like I could play a game of Madden, which would probably give me an achievement or 2 or 3. And it would just make a fun little video of me playing Madden, but it would go towards the goal of 100,000. I don't know. I think that would be fun. And then I would love to do, besides the achievement-thon stuff, I would love to do things for various holidays, you know? So I could have, you know, like a Halloween special and like a Valentine's Day special. Not this year. I missed it. But, you know, stuff like that I think would be interesting, because once people hit that area of time, people want to look at, you know, the horror games, the jolly winter games, stuff like that. And I have a lot of that stuff that I could easily play that I've never played before, which synergizes back into, that makes it, you know, the YouTube channel makes it a good excuse to go play all that shit. So, yeah. That's the plan. I don't know how interesting this video is going to be to some people, but I feel like this is something good to have, and I would love to do something like this every so often, like maybe once a year. I just check in and be like, hey, this is all the stuff that's happening, here's the stuff that I planned on, here's all the behind the scenes stuff, so that when I'm the next Mr. Beast, everyone can point to these and go, you know, I know all about this guy. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's the channel. And I'm kind of hoping to make it a good channel. It's not going to be good right away, because this is the first time I'm doing a lot of this stuff. The first time I'm ever, you know, recording anything and being entertaining. Geez, I didn't realize how hard it was talking to nobody. Generally, I'm pretty charismatic, but that's when I'm talking to people. When I'm talking to my screen, not so much. It was the first time doing like editing of any kind. So, you know, a lot of this stuff's going to be kind of basic at first and probably not well made, but, you know, it'll be done and I can learn from it, even if it's bad, right? That's the idea. And this is the first time ever uploading anything to YouTube, so I don't know anything about the algorithm or ads or anything like that. How to best be seen by anybody, I have no idea. So we'll learn all that too on the way there. So yeah, that's it. I hope to see you guys in the future. Hoping to do good with this whole YouTube thing. And I am hoping I can make some really nice videos for all of you. Because ultimately, if I can't share the things that I love, what's the point, right? I could just play games by myself, right? But I want to share it with people. I want to share me and all the things that I like with people. So that's the point. Anyway, I'm going to leave it off there before I ramble on too much. So, adios.